Good day. Whew, I'm exhausted. I don't know about you. So much energy, so much shift, so much change going on right now. There's solar flares, there's just an intense energy of reset and an agitation amongst just the general population out there. I had a funny one I went down the elevator in my apartment building a couple days ago, and I met a lady in there, and she seemed kind of light, but just very tentative. And I said, "Oh, it looks pretty sunny out there. It looks nice." And she says, or no, how did it go? No, it was like, "Oh, how's the day?" or whatever. And she says, "I'm not sure." And I said, "It's pretty sunny out there." And she's like, "I haven't been out and seen the people yet." And she was basically speaking about what's going on right now. There's so many people just don't know what to do and going sideways. So I wanted to do this video and just talk about it a little bit. Why is this happening first? So I can get into a whole bunch of detail and use words that are confusing, but just think of it this way. It's like being 3D and being human meant to come and have lessons in density. So if you are God, for example, which we all are a fragment of God, that's from all the learnings and all the knowledge I've accumulated in this life. But if you were God and you could have everything, do everything, it was all light and it was all beautiful, a new experience for you would be to go to a place of density where you could have traumatic experiences and live your darkness and have it in a container that's protected, and then you can basically God just wants to explore all possibilities. So if you think about quantum physics or the multiverse concept, basically we as fragments of God live out every possibility and every possibility. So if you have a choice to say yes or a choice to go no, you are not aware of this, but those choices are all created, and there's this multiverse, this tree of life of different experiences that have all happened. And so essentially in the timeline that we are right now, there's a whole bunch of density, and the density got darker and darker, and until the point that there was a very small group of people that want to control everything, and at the cost of all the other fragments of God. So they want to own everything and do everything and take all the money and be in control and use all these negative dark influences, tools, technologies, etc. to basically force us to comply. So you're living an experience where this had to clean up. The balance was off. The dark and the light balance was off. And this beautiful timeline or group of timelines that we're going through is basically to clean up the darkness, to get it exposed and shone into the light so we can all move forward, and we're no longer having to have this battle. And we're resetting the balance as we all move from a third dimensional density up through fourth dimensional and into a fifth dimensional density. The darker or the malevolence or all those things have to be filtered out. And we're seeing them having fits right now of wanting to continue to control, but the light is shining on them and it's clearing up. So we're then feeling it in our bodies. So we're moving our bodies from a carbon-based and the one that's been part of 3D to this crystalline structure, this higher vibrational consciousness has to have a vessel that is basically able to hold the higher vibrations. So what you're feeling in your body, all those tightnesses, all those pains, all those, I've got a spot in my right hip and I've got about a spot under my left ribs that's just screaming at me right now. And there's so much collective density that are trapped in there. There's attachment points, there's places that have been built into us that allow people to steal our energy or be narcissistic to us and influence us, or playing out feminine masculine dynamics. They're all having to clean up. So light's being shone on these things, and where the pain is where there's some attachment. And you're just being asked to feel it, to know that it's there, to sit and breathe with it, and start to begin to release it and let it to flow through you, because you cannot fully ascend or awaken completely with those things in your system. Let's call it that. So what you're going to find out is the programming that was given to us from our lineage. That's our parents and all the grandparents and all the way up. They had a certain number of beliefs that were shared with you as a child. You went into school and you went into government and religion, and all these things programmed you with a certain set of beliefs that allowed you to be open and receptive to control, to keep you small, say you're not worthy, say money doesn't grow on trees, or whatever belief has been programmed into you. And we're now going up against all of these things. And from the perspective that I have, there's a great, huge amount of programming that goes with everyone, like millions and millions of different things that are told to you that restrict you in your choice. So you're no longer an unlimited creator being, you're a limited, controllable person that has been kind of grown as sheep. And if that feels uncomfortable, that makes you mad or whatever, well, I hate to give you the truth, but it's true. We don't have a choice. We sign contracts with banks and mortgages, and which are death contracts and other things that are part of a 3D human reality, so that people can keep you small and make you work for wages and restrict your freedom and other things. And this is all coming up. It's all density that's in our body that keeps us small. And the more you uncover, the more you see the picture, and you start to realize that really you didn't have any choice. Really, this world is just mostly a Cinderella story. I can tell you the pieces. I've lived all of them. It's like grow up, go to school, go to university, find a mate in university, get a good job, get married, have 2-3 kids, beautiful house, vacation property, cars, boats, everything. And you get to the bottom of all that kind of stuff, and you get a good job and you get a good career, and then the taxes start to eat you alive, and then the relationship dramas and stuff eat you alive. And that's the drama that most people go through, and they're fighting against it. That's what you grow up, and you are subconsciously programmed and told every day of your life by your parents. When are you going to get married? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? When are you going to get a job? You're going to find out that there's a whole bunch of control and a story of happily ever after that more than likely never arrives for most people. With a 60% divorce rate and other things, those things aren't working out. And we're now seeing that. We're now starting to grow through it. We're now hating our jobs. I know I got a job and I made 6 figures as an engineer, and one day I found out I made 55% tax bracket. So they took more than half after all the taxes and unemployments and all those kind of things. And then you get to that point and you're like, why did I work my whole life? Why am I working 15-hour days? Why do I not see my kids? And you start to just, what's going on? And then you start to see the government's controlling, and that they're really not a democracy, and all the stuff that's going on in the world. You start to wake up. You start to say there's something seriously wrong here. And then you change your energy and you shift and you say this isn't going to happen anymore. So this is all the stuff we're coming up against. There's going to be a reset, and I'm not talking the Great Reset or any of that control shit there, but there's going to be a reset in your beliefs and your understanding about yourself, because we have to go back to purity and innocence and to clarity of who we are and what our birthrights are. And that's what all these flares are. That's what all this pain in our body is just becoming aware. And eventually there's going to be such an explosion of light that Those things won't be allowed to continue to exist in our thoughts and in our body and our physical systems. And then there's going to be a period of healing and recovery and shining light for everyone. So it's all figured out already. It's all going exactly as planned, but you need to rest. You need to follow your body. Don't get yourself into chronic fatigue. Don't get yourself into all these things. Just let it pass through, lay down, feel exhausted, feel everything, to cry, do whatever shows up, because it's got to pass through your body. If it's not before all this light and stuff happens, it's going to be after. So start now is all I can recommend. I've been doing it for several years now, and there's a lot of trauma in the body. There's a lot of other things that are being brought up to clear, and it's all going to happen, and perfectly. And the less you hold on, and the less you fight it, and the less you think there's something wrong with you, it's all perfect. No matter what you've done, seen, being, whatever, just assume you had no choice. You did the best with the knowledge that you had at the time, and that's what's going to get you through this. Don't hold on to anything. If your arms are hurting, breathe and just keep saying, I let go, I let go, I let go. The world and the reality we're going to is not like we've ever imagined. It's beautiful, it's amazing, it's cleaning and clearing, and it's going to bring you all the stuff that you need to get through this in the quickest way possible, with the least struggle, with the least pain. We just don't believe it yet. We don't understand or understand. So trust me in what I'm learning, and I went through a lot. I've had lots of crazy shit show up in my life this whole entire life. The more and more I look at it, it was just teaching me, and I'm now free of it, and all those beliefs and all those things that I thought were correct were based on false understandings and stuff that wasn't serving me. So now I have to reset everything. I have to get clear for the new stuff to come in. And we're all worthy of our divine flames, twin flames, mates, relationships, abundance, money, new houses, all these things, and that will come. But it just can't come until we clear out this density and reset everything back to better. And that doesn't include banking. That doesn't include all these great reset items. This is the grand prophesized in many, many different religions throughout the world. This is a change of state of humanity. So no wonder it's so strong. It's never happened before. There's a lot of density to clean up. Just keep breathing, keep smiling. Put your smile on if you don't want to, because feeling negative and getting angry just doesn't get you anywhere. So I love you all. Keep smiling, keep breathing, lots of water, salt baths, eat what you feel is right. Don't worry what people are saying about raw and vegan, and that doesn't apply. If you have different beliefs, that doesn't apply. And if you just keep having to eat stuff you hate, don't, because that's wrong. Everybody's body is different. Their needs are different based on their beliefs. So eat what feels good to you, makes you feel good. And don't fight it. Don't worry about it, because I just can't stand the amount of programming of people's beliefs that are put into stuff. It says this is the only way. There's 10 million, 100 million different ways of awakening, and what's best for you may not be best for me, and vice versa. So I don't force that, but I do know we're water-based beings, so water helps. Salt baths can clear away energy. Lots of breathing right to the base of your spine and let all the shit go. Did you hear the little growl that I did at the same time? Let it all go. Even get to the point where you open your throat and you're not holding anything back. So let it flow, let it flow, let it flow, and we're going to get through this. And if anybody's stuck or anybody's having trouble, just put a note below or PM me. We'll get you through this. I love you. Have a good one. Talk to you soon. Good night.